Good evening, everyone. You are watching Metro Report, your trusted source for all the latest news. I am Samantha Newman. Thrilled to have you with us tonight. Before we dive into today's breaking stories, let's take a quick look at the headlines that are shaping our world. U.S. indicts Sinwar and senior Hamas figures for assaults on Israel. A Russian missile attack on a military institute in Poltava, Ukraine, killed at least 51 and injured 271. Mongolia was expected to detain President Putin last night, but this did not happen. We've got an exciting lineup for you, so stick around for an in-depth look at the top stories of the day. And don't forget, if you enjoy our coverage, hit that like button and subscribe to the Metro Report channel. U.S. indicts Sinwar and senior Hamas figures for assaults on Israel. The U.S. has charged Yahya Sinwar, Hamas's political leader, and several senior officials for their roles in attacks on Israel that killed at least 43 Americans. Sinwar is accused of orchestrating the October 7th attacks. A detailed indictment released by federal prosecutors alleges that Sinwar and his colleagues planned and executed these terrorist acts. Originally filed in New York in February, the indictment now includes 2 additional senior Hamas members. Notable leaders indicted include Ismail Haniyeh, Mohammed Deif, Marwan Issa, Ali Baraki, and Khaled Meshal. Deif and Issa were killed in Israeli airstrikes, while Haniyeh died in Iran from a bomb smuggled into his guest house. A Russian missile strike on a military institute in Poltava, Ukraine, has killed at least 51 and injured 271, making it the deadliest incident of the conflict this year. The attack occurred during classes, starting with alarms at 9:08 local time, reflecting Russia's strategy of targeting distant military sites. The attack, involving 2 ballistic missiles, caused significant damage. President Zelensky condemned the assault and called for an investigation, while rescue operations continued for those trapped under debris. Additional missiles targeted an educational facility and a hospital, prompting local concern. Rescuers have saved 25 people, including 11 from the rubble. As Russia escalates its missile and drone attacks, Ukraine has launched over 158 drone strikes against Russian infrastructure. The conflict is intensifying, with Russian forces advancing in eastern Ukraine and Ukraine conducting cross-border operations. Zelensky has urged for enhanced Western air defense systems and long-range weaponry. Russian President Vladimir Putin's recent visit to Mongolia included diplomatic talks, but Mongolia did not detain him despite an ICC arrest warrant for war crimes related to the deportation of Ukrainian children. The Kremlin called the ICC's actions outrageous, asserting that the court lacks authority over Russia, a non-signatory of the Rome Statute. This was Putin's first visit to an ICC member since the warrant was issued, raising concerns about Mongolia's compliance. The ICC and Ukrainian officials have expressed alarm, warning that Mongolia's inaction could lead to responses from ICC judges and potential legal repercussions, with the International Bar Association noting possible consequences for Mongolia. Russia confidently visited Ulaanbaatar, dismissing concerns about potential arrest as it seeks to strengthen regional influence and energy projects. Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov emphasized strong ties with Mongolia, while presidential aide Yuri Ushakov highlighted discussions on industrial production, agriculture, railway transport, and education. Elena Davlekanova from the Center for European Policy Analysis suggested the visit mocks the ICC, viewing Mongolia as a strategic choice to challenge its authority. She noted that Putin's trip indicated no risk of arrest, as Mongolia assured his safety, framing it as a calculated move amid its limited diplomatic options between Russia and China. The United States is enhancing financial and economic ties with Bangladesh, highlighted by a high-level delegation's visit to Dhaka in mid-September to discuss bilateral relations and finalize policy assistance. This effort is part of the Biden administration's strategy to improve relations despite past tensions over democracy and human rights. The delegation will meet with key advisors to Bangladesh's interim government and various sector leaders to explore economic support. In August, a senior UN delegation also visited Dhaka to address violence from the student-led movement and promote democratic reforms. Facing economic challenges, Bangladesh may seek U.S. assistance in recovering laundered funds and improving labor rights, with the U.S. proposing 11 recommendations to enhance labor conditions vital for investment. That's a wrap for tonight. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to like and subscribe to stay updated with the latest news and insights on everything from local issues to global events. We'll see you next time. Until then, take care, stay safe, and have a great night.